but I found my favorite type of snake.
What is it?
Oh, I didn't find it. It's one that I've known about, but I didn't really remember the name of. It's called a boomslang. Cool name.
Damn, I'm gonna make a rap rock group and I'm gonna call it Boomslang.
Do you want to know what its venom does? It's a deadly snake.
Yeah.
Its venom makes you bleed uncontrollably. So you just start bleeding out of all of your orifices until you just die.
What's up, little comers? It's Composting back at again. The most juicy podcast, the world's most juicy podcast. I'm joined today by my bug-eyed co-host, Joku.
What's up? I'm a little Cortishon. How's it going, Rosa? How's your day been going?
Wait, sorry, I just gotta take this. My money phone was calling. Money phone. That's my new catchphrase.
Money
like
tone?
it? No, money phone. Like
Money phone?
My money phone is calling is my new catchphrase. I say money phone. And
honestly, I think you should start using the money phone, like the money spread voice as a replacement for the fat voice and the Donald Trump voice until you kind of run that one into the ground.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I like running bits until the people around me want to kill me. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, I was getting a call.
On your what?
On my money phone.
Anyway, how's your day going?
It's going well. I got into a car crash.
Yeah?
In Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Not in real life. Yep.
I'm glad.
And I was like, this is worse than that time I hit a deer. Fuck deer, dude. Fuck deer. Fucking little pricks.
Dude, every time I go out walking at night, because I like doing a little night walk, there's always these deer in the same spot. I'm like, hello. Don't mind me. Today we're recording this on my 2-year estrogen anniversary. So I'm celebrating by recording a podcast episode where we talk about
late.
Yeah, Rosa is 30 minutes late because they waited till the last minute to watch the movies that they've had a full week to watch.
Well, I only waited to the last minute to watch one of the movies.
We watched Marley Me and Beetlejuice the same day.
Yeah, except it wasn't the last minute. I watched Marley Me 4 hours before this.
That's still cutting it close. That's still same day.
How can it be last minute if I had it allotted perfectly?
You didn't though. You still were late.
Well, I forgot how numbers work. But is that really my fault?
Yes, because you had a whole week to watch 2 movies.
Have you ever considered that it's like a sociological... I thought that you were about abolishing time.
Anyway, one of us just watched a movie 5 minutes ago called Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
What do we think of Beetlejuice?
I watched 2024's Beetlejuice, directed by
Tim Burton.
It follows a family tragedy. After a family tragedy, 3 generations of the Dietz family return home to Winter River, still haunted by Beetlejuice. Lydia's life is turned upside down when her teenage daughter, Astrid, accidentally opens a portal to the afterlife, and Beetlejuice.
Only one of those words was not read from the letterbox synopsis. Take a guess which one.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and Beetlejuice madness in Beetlejuice bonanza goes down.
Yeah, a Beetlejuice bonanza. What did you think of this movie?
I thought it was amazing.
It was fine.
It was fun.
It had some good elements. It had some enjoyable stuff in it. But what were some of your favorite parts? Not your favorite parts, just some aspects that you liked.
My favorite aspect of this movie was when Beetlejuice makes the Awooga face with CGI.
Yeah.
But not only this, he also makes social media influencers shapeshift into like weird horse people, and then they get sucked into their phones. I thought that was really poignant commentary.
Yeah. I liked Catherine O'Hare. Catherine O'Hare is like so funny in this. Same with Willem Dafoe. Whatever is going on with Willem Dafoe,
Willem Dafoe is the best part.
I'm here for it. Catherine O'Hare is also really funny. I just love Catherine O'Hare. But Willem Dafoe's character is so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Every time he's on screen, I'm kind of just like, I'm here for it, you know?
Yeah, it was for context, Willem Dafoe, he plays a B-movie star that died, and in the afterlife he's like an action hero cop.
Well, that's who he played, right? He was an actor for like a cop movie.
Yeah. And it was gas. And I honestly, he showed, that's what the movie should have been. It should have been Ghost Cop.
I love to like every scene that is in, he gets like a cup of coffee delivered to him.
Yeah, and so he throws it.
Yeah, it's so fucking ridiculous and over the top. Yeah. It's just so funny.
Beetlejuice says safe space in this movie.
I know. Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, they were pretty good in it. The animation scene depicting Charles's death, it is also just insane and just like it just is like so fucking weird.
Yeah, the claymation in this, it was okay. I liked it.
Like, it's ugly in a good kind of way.
Yeah, it's like Garbage Pail Kids core.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of liked it because it was stylistically interesting comparatively to like some animated sequence of it.
Yeah,
I preferred the claymation.
I just keep thinking about the fact that The Mask did the Awooga face in the 90s, and it looked significantly better than the Awooga face in this movie. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fine.
Yeah, I enjoyed the claymation in it. Overall, I feel like it kind of treads over a lot of the same ground that the original tread over.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the original in about a year.
I watched it before seeing it in theaters, which was like 3 weeks ago, so it's a little bit fresher in my mind. Still, I prefer the original over this. The original one is so much more funnier, I guess. And
yeah,
it's kind of it doesn't give you too much Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like 50 minutes before it really gets going.
Yeah. So, what were some of your biggest criticisms?
It was like an hour of like this the Beetlejuice like, it's not his family. The family from the original Beetlejuice,
The
their
Dietz family.
the Dietz family. Thank you. It's like their drama. And there's not enough funny writing for me to be engaged. The characters aren't interesting. The first hour is kind of just uninteresting.
So, my problem with it there are too many storylines happening, and it kind of just feels like you're lost in the sauce. You have like 6 storylines that are all kind of just happening, and you're not really getting like involved in them, or
Yeah.
like it's just not getting any depth. Like the first hour is kind of hard because like feels like nothing's happening. Like the only interesting parts for me are when Beetlejuice, Winona Ryder, and O'Hare are on the screen. Jenna Ortega is not great in this movie at all.
Yeah.
She's kind of I would say the worst part of this movie. She just feels like she's playing Wednesday again. And it definitely stands out when you're next to funnier people.
Yeah.
And then the whole subplot with like her and her goist boyfriend.
I thought you were gonna say her goy friend is like a pun on goy boyfriend.
Her goist boyfriend is like so whatever. I don't know. It's just like it takes it just like has a lot happening. You have the whole Beetlejuice ex-wife thing. You have
and that went nowhere.
That like kind of just fizzled out in like
it happened in the first 10 minutes, and then like at the end they're like, wait, he had an ex-wife.
Like she popped into the chapel and I was like, oh, I forgot about you.
Yeah.
There's
so
a lot
many weird.
There's a
lot
lot
of 7 subplots that start off at
the
start of the movie.
Yeah, there's so many. Like it's hard to even like count.
Yeah. I guess the most important one, except the like main important one, like fizzles out over the course of like 20 minutes, where Jenna Ortega meets a boy.
Meets Ghost Boy,
who tricks her into giving her life so he can come back to life.
He's a murderer. He's a bad boy.
Except that just gets resolved in like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Overall, I think it's fine. Just definitely the script is like what holds the movie back.
Yeah, it wasn't
like
really
it's
that
just
funny.
so convoluted.
Yeah, they had like a bunch of ideas, but it doesn't have the sauce. It's missing the sauce. Is my biggest thing. Like, and despite the fact it's only an hour and 40, this shit felt so long.
Yeah, I could definitely see how this feels. That I'm at I like in a theater setting. It didn't feel that bad, but I could imagine like watching this at like home. You're just kind of like get to something.
Yeah,
sure.
because like I only really took any substantial notes starting 51 minutes in. Because I literally wrote down 51:42, the movie started.
Yeah.
And like I wouldn't mind the like meandering A through F plots in the first half if the writing was funny, except it's not really funny.
Yeah.
They're only like jokes in this movie are like saying safe space or puns.
Yeah.
or like
About
horror
the
set piece shock.
like your notes comment, I was tallying up how much I've written for each movie that we've tested in this format style, because at some point down the line I want to do a movie. Which movie have we talked about where I've written the most for? So I was just collecting some data, and this one is the one that has the least that I've said about it. So
yeah, it's simultaneously a very confused plot where nothing happens and so much happens that's weird, that's just like weird to cover. Like we didn't mention fucking we Winona
what?
Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder, yeah. What about her?
Winona. What an odd first name. I wasn't sure if I was pronouncing that correctly. My bad. Like we didn't even talk about the her like
Her ghost TV show? Yeah.
where she's addicted to pills. They just throw that one out there, which is funny.
Well, it's because whatever his face, that her love interest is like a bad guy.
Yeah, Rory.
Played by Justin Theroux.
Yeah, and then her dad's funeral, which is like, I don't care. Who cares?
Do you remember Charles from the first one?
Yeah. I don't know. The first 50 minutes of this movie feel like a Lifetime original.
It's just like not enough's happening to keep it engaging. It's like fine. Overall, I think it's fine. I enjoyed myself while watching it in the theater. Could I say that it could go down? If I see it again, probably. Do you want to score it?
Yeah, I'm thinking 7 of 15.
I give it a 9 out of 15.
That puts a solid, which not really solid, 16 out of 30, putting it 1 point behind the Sick Kitten and half a point above Civil War.
Nice.
Sick Kitten stays on top.
Anyway,
Can you put the Sick Kitten in the background?
Anyway, we watched another movie, a 2018 classic, Oscar winner, Best Picture, Green Book, directed by Peter Farrelly.
I thought that you were gonna say I thought you were gonna say Marley Me. I'm like, wait, that came out in 2018 and won Best Picture? What?
Oh, you wanted to talk about Green Book?
Yes,
So,
Green Book.
2018 Best Picture winner.
We got a diverse audience. That's one of the things I like about this show. I always like that there are people of all sorts of different colors watching our shit. Um, and I just want to say I learned an important lesson from the movie. Um, Black,
Fuck Italians.
Asian, white, Jew, genteel. We're all equally superior to Italian people. Fuck Italians.
Fuck Italians.
That's
With your spaghetti and your fucking wee. Wait, no, that's French people. What the fuck do Italians? What is their like funny?
Hey, I eat
And your
spaghetti and beat
your
my
Annie's
wife.
goes.
Hey,
So what did you think of 2018's Green Book?
oh, can I give a little synopsis of the Green Book before we get into it because I love it so much. You know how much it means to me. But,
As long as it's not the same one off of Letterboxd.
okay, so imagine an Italian guy, 1962. His name's Tony Lip.
Hey, my name's Tony Lip. I'm an
Hey, I'm Tony
Italian.
Lip. I'm an Italian guy
Hey, yo, I got some spaghetti.
who's hired to drive a pianist and civil rights activist, but you wouldn't know that from this fucking movie. Don Shirley, on a tour through the deep south.
You're reading it.
They,
You're just adding some like extra context. All right, here's mine.
fuck.
This movie is about a connection between two people while on a tour, and the other is a chauffeur. Um, this movie is not great. It's completely disingenuous.
Yeah, to quote one Tony Fantoni, it's not good. Play an awesome explosion sound effect. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's start off with good.
Um,
What did you like about this
what I
movie?
like about the car is sick. I like car. Me, I like car. Car good. Um, the color grading in this movie, I did like.
Yeah,
It's a pretty looking movie.
I thought the movie looked fine.
Um,
It just
in terms of coloring, not the shot composition isn't really anything to write home about.
yeah, it all technically looked fine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It could have been more racist.
Yeah,
um, fried chicken scene is like the funniest fucking thing.
the fried chicken scene is my favorite part of the movie.
It's my okay. Here's the only scene we're going to describe in intimate detail. There's this weird contrived thing where it's like this Italian man is like, I know more about being black than you'll ever know about being black, civil rights activist, but you wouldn't know that from watching this movie. He's like, oh, I am a white guy with black skin. Ooh, I'm too prim and proper to do black people things. So they go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, and he gets the KFC bucket, Tony, and he's like, hey, you wanna eat fried chicken? Black people love fried chicken, huh? And he's like, ooh, I've never eaten chicken before. Where is the cutlery? He's like, you eat it with your hands. He's like, ooh, how peculiar. And it's like a 15-minute long scene of them eating fried chicken in a car. And then he's like, but what do we do about the bones? He's like, this is what we do about the bones. Tony throws him out the window, and Don Shirley smiles for the first time. He's like, I'm gonna throw a bone out the window. It's like the emotional height of this movie. I cannot stress how long they eat fried chicken for.
The best
It is
part,
an uncomfortably long part of the movie.
so after we watched the movie, we found ourselves just watching Green Book edits.
Yeah.
And they were all just like the criteria of these edits were just the two of us edit song playing,
Yep.
and then the fried chicken scene, and
With,
he's like, and then after
over it.
yeah, with a bunch of filters, and then every time like they throw out the chicken out the window, like the fucking like it just shows their like connection.
Yeah, it like turns into
It's
like
so funny.
it's
Rosa will
really
play
gay.
some in the background.
Yeah, and for some reason, like half of them have subtitles from countries in the Balkans where they don't. Like, I'm pretty sure that the people making them have never seen a black person before they watched this movie, and it blew their minds. Because the subtitles in all of them are like in Georgian or Serbo-Croatian, which is my favorite little detail. I'm glad Serbians gained something from this movie.
Yeah.
But before I get into the criticisms of this movie,
I imagine we have a lot.
and I do have quite a bit. I'd like to give some context about the great Don Shirley, American classical and jazz pianist. He recorded many records for Cadence Records in the 50s and 60s. That being one of the premier New York City Negro music labels. And I mean, I'm a student of jazz. If you didn't know, I minor in jazz at university. I've played multiple international jazz festivals, so Don Shirely is a figure I look up to. I don't say that to like boast or anything. It just context. So he studied at the University of Leningrad, I believe, in classical performance. Played with Duke Ellington, and was a civil rights activist. So pretty important figure. Civil rights activism, that being one of the most important things about Don Shirley. Now, did you get any of that in the Green Book beyond the fact that
we didn't?
No, we didn't. No, there's they like mention offhandedly. He studied at in Leningrad. And okay. Black guy in the 60s that studied at the USSR. We all have our criticisms of the Stalinist Soviet Union. However, black people that came out of Soviet universities and came back to the States came back very radical, and as civil rights activists. Not shockingly, it's not that shocking, and it's just like mentioned offhandedly once. He's like, "Oh yeah, I studied music in the Soviet Union," and he's with Russian guys the entire time. Who played with him in the Don Shirley trio,
and one of them is like an exposition fairy. Like every time something like some conflict happens or something, this one named Ogle or something is like. Here's what you need to know. Here, Tony Lip, let me tell you everything you need to know.
He'll like turn to the camera. He says, "There is a lot of racism in the 60s." For real. He turns to the camera. He's like, "Maybe white people and black people aren't so different after all." He's just the voice of the writers. Which is
what?
Really...
Wait, what? I don't even. I think he just like spouts with some nonsense that he needs to learn or whatever. I don't think it's the writers.
Yeah.
But this movie feels so disingenuous.
The film depicts him as estranged from his family and alienated from other African Americans. Shirley's surviving family disputed this, said he was involved in the civil rights movement, attended the 1965 Selma and Montgomery March, and knew other African American artists and leaders. He also had 3 brothers, which, according to his family, he kept in touch with.
Yeah, they never. Whenever they were making this movie, they never contacted the family of Shirley. They contacted Tony Lip's family, but not Shirley's.
Yeah, which
is insane.
Yeah, like why the fuck would I care about, respectfully, a racist Italian bouncer from the 60s? Like, my biggest issue with this film is that it's taking Don Shirley, one of the most interesting figures in jazz and in civil rights. But you have a man who went from like, what was he? He was the son of sharecroppers, I believe. Is that correct? Let me fact check this. I'm fact checking it. Son of Jamaican immigrants who into the United States, who moved to St. Petersburg. Now Leningrad. Leningrad at the time he was there. St. Petersburg now. Whatever. I digress. Son of Jamaican immigrants, studies at Leningrad, moves back to the US, becomes a civil rights activist, jams with guys like Duke Ellington, and then goes on a tour south of the Mason-Dixon line. That's an interesting story. He lived such an interesting life. Why would you frame it through the life of a mediocre white guy? You know?
Well, it's also like a movie talking and making a point of how racism bad, but like inherently not getting the full story from the African American family of who they're making the movie about. So it just comes off as like lazy,
masturbatory,
and like completely disingenuous of your messaging,
and really fucking racist, because it's like, it's taking this like incredible figure. Like, I'm not even going to how much he did for like taking classical music and fusing it with jazz and his like contributions to the jazz lexicon, because I could talk about that all day. No one wants to hear it, but just to say, important fucking guy, to say the least. You take him and you just completely whitewash him and act like just because he was an intellectual giant that somehow made him white. Whiteness has nothing. Well, obviously, whiteness has a lot to do with socioeconomic condition, which has to do with education. But whiteness doesn't. Your blackness doesn't somehow go away when you get a doctorate degree, and the fact they marched with MLK shows that. The idea that a son of Jamaican immigrants wouldn't know how to eat chicken is insane to me, and racist to like assert that that's what blackness is about.
This movie also feels and comes off as Oscar bait, because you look at what he like did, what movies he's done before this. It's like Dumb and Dumber, Osmosis Jones, movies like that, and you look at what after, and it's like the same type of shit. This one stands out because it's like not like a comedy, some dumb comedy. He has a movie that he put out after this called The Greatest Beer Run Ever, which like I don't know why this one stands out as just like, for him it just like makes no sense.
Yeah, it's a film for white people to like pat each other on the back to.
Yeah.
In a way that feels incredibly shitty. I'm not about that like id-pol bullshit where like, oh, white people can't tell black stories, except clearly Peter Farrelly's white ass doesn't know what he's talking about with this shit.
Yeah.
So sit the fuck down.
Anyway, let's get into some criticisms about the movie itself. What were some of your least favorite parts?
I do want to say one thing I really like. Tony Lip, he folds a pizza like a taco. He folds it in half.
Oh, yeah. He like eats a whole pizza.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
You could argue that this film is as racist to Italians as it is.
Honestly, I could eat a pizza like I would want to eat a pizza.
It made me want to eat a pizza like that.
Yeah.
We could Lady in the Tramp a pizza like that.
Seems awkward. Anyway,
it would be awkward.
The acting is whatever. I found to be in this movie. It wasn't like outstanding or anything.
Did you consider how emotional it was when he said, "We do this with the bones," and then threw the bone out the window?
It has like a fucking
awesome... He's like, fried chicken from Kentucky? Yeah. Eat spicy goodness like a boss over here.
That's Wendy's.
Eat sorry, spicy goodness like I know.
Like an Italian.
Eat spicy goodness like an Italian.
Dude, the ending is just like a hashtag not all cops ending as well, which is insane.
Oh yeah,
because they like the cops like, hey yo, you got a flat tire.
They're driving home on Christmas and like, don't get me started on modern day policing, but modern day policing in the United States looks like, I don't know, a communist utopia, compared to 1962 cops south of the Mason-Dixie line. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, whenever the cop like tells them also that he has like a flat tire, like Tony just starts speaking like pure gibberish. Yeah, he just he just like make it like it makes no sense. And that's what I felt like most of the Italian was in this movie. Like
Oh yeah,
I
the
get was it
Italian.
like it was like an American like style of it
Yeah.
of Italian, but like whenever it was all delivered, it like didn't even sound like anything coherent.
I speak Spanish and French, meaning I can kind of get what Italian is saying and like what Italian is supposed to sound like. It did not sound like it sounded like 6-year-olds, not Italian speakers. The weird not all cops bit, which I guarantee you did not happen in real life.
Yeah.
That goes without saying, but obviously that didn't happen in real life. Also the weird Bobby Kennedy bit was, I don't know if that happened in real life, but they spend so much time on it in a way that reminded me of Oppenheimer. It felt exactly like Oppenheimer, where they refer to like JFK and they spend way too much time on it for some reason. They're like, whoa, isn't that cool?
I would, I wish JFK was played by Bill Burr in Oppenheimer. Honestly,
I wish JFK was.
You know, like
Bill
in
Burr
the
in
awesome
real life.
movie Unfrosted.
Yeah, dude, imagine how much funnier the Cuban Missile Crisis would have been if Bill Burr was playing JFK in real life, bro.
Yeah. Overall, this movie's like whatever. It's so boring. It's toothless with its messaging.
It's just liberal racism.
Yeah.
It's the epitome of liberal racism. Like defanging a black radical to make him palatable to a white audience who are still racist to pat themselves in the back and say they've learned their lesson.
You know, Spike Lee walked out of like needed a second after this movie won Best Picture.
Yeah.
Like he was like really upset.
Yeah. No,
which is completely fair.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say
but to be fair, Black Panther should have gotten Best Picture.
Dude, Spike Lee would have popped off.
Dude, there was a better not racist movie to pick.
Dude, imagine how what would have Spike Lee's reaction been? I feel like he would have just been confused.
Stood up and clapped at Black Panther winning.
No, he would have just stood up and he would have looked around confused. I don't think he'd know how to feel.
Anyway, do you have any more closing thoughts on this movie?
Yeah, it's racist liberal garbage. I'd like to give it a 5 out of 15.
Overall, found it very whatever. That's what these movies kind of boil down to. Like Civil War, Rebel Ridge, Green Book. They're all so fucking average.
Obviously
7.5 out of 50.
Yeah, I care more as a I obviously am more offended. It's not like Don Shirely is a hugely known figure.
To
but
not even contact the family, what the fuck?
Yeah, but like as someone who knew about Don Shirley going into the movie as a jazz musician who looks up to Don Shirley, and as someone who isn't racist, unlike Joku. I'm kidding. I just found it to be abhorrent. That means it is coming in at a measly 12.5. Putting it half a point below Alien Romulus and 1.5 points above Love Lies Bleeding.
Great.
Good.
And then I picked a movie for us to watch this week. I picked a cinematic triumph, as Rosa always said. Marley and Me, directed by David Frankel. Came out in 2008. I picked this movie because I thought Rosa would love it. So, what do you think, Rosa?
I want you to imagine a dog.
Would you say you felt loved? Did you feel the love, the fun?
I felt the white Aryan family values flowing through my bones.
Yeah.
Flowing through. Well, I guess blood does flow through your bones, so I guess that does work actually. Dude, this movie is 2 hours. Why is it 2 hours?
This movie is long as fuck.
It's an arduous journey in which you follow Owen Wilson, Jennifer Anniston, and their dog Marley.
Yeah.
Through marriage and life's tribulations and his multiple journalism jobs. I took a lot of notes this movie. Let's see what the notes
You
say.
really took a lot. I checked, and this one was the highest that I've wrote as well.
I took 276 words of notes, which isn't a lot, but it's
I
it's
took
a lot
234.
Yeah,
which is my most.
I took here's a good one. A girl gets stabbed in her parking lot after being sexually assaulted, probably.
Yeah.
And trigger one. I wrote down one girl, one knife.
Oh my god.
Oh my, what the fuck, me?
Yeah. So, what did you think of the movie?
I wrote down lost comic strip when Jennifer Aniston miscarried. My notes are psychotic, dude.
Yeah.
He's shooting hot loads in her pussy while the dog watches is what I wrote when they're trying to have a baby.
Dude, this movie is so horny. This movie is incredibly horny.
This movie is rated PG and there's like multiple sex scenes in it.
I'm glad that you mentioned PG, and because I'm assuming you're wondering why I picked this movie, right?
Why?
This was the first movie I ever saw in theaters.
Wow.
We left halfway through the movie because it was marketed on like all the kids channels when I was younger. So me, like 4 years old, am like, ooh, doggy, cute dog movie. No, weird movie where like the first 30 minutes are like, oh, it's a cute dog, blah blah blah, and then like hard shift turn into miscarriage, woman gets stabbed, dog dies in the end, depression and fucking marriage crisis.
Dude, the fact that they like talk about the fact that he's shooting hot loads into his wife's pussy when they're saying we're having a baby. The fact that this is how kids figured out how babies are made.
Like, this movie is insane. That like this was like on like all the kids channels, like fucking like Cartoon Network and like the baby channels.
Yeah.
Which, and we left.
And a girl gets stabbed. Okay, I can't stress this enough. In this kids movie,
Lisa
a
gets
girl
stabbed.
gets sexually assaulted and stabbed, and there is like lots of blood.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit. Owen Wilson's like, I'm gonna sit here with you.
Wow.
Wow, this is my Owen Wilson.
And then there's like a miscarriage too. Like
Yeah,
this movie
is not handled with the grace of Up. It like explains what a miscarriage is, which is that's such a great conversation to have with the kids after the movie.
It's like 40 minutes in. Like you're in like the cute little doggy moment, and then like boom, miscarriage. Which is like how life is, you know.
Dude, my favorite thing is when like, okay, Owen Wilson has a column in this movie where he writes about the dog, but he's put on leave because he keeps talking about the quote unquote racial tensions in South Florida and the fact that they're building tenement housing too close to his house, which is just the most what?
Like,
what?
But whatever is going on in this movie, I don't know.
It opens up talking about Desert Storm in Kuwait. I'm like, what is, huh?
Yeah, I haven't rewatched this movie since seeing it in theaters. I don't remember like anything of this movie. My mom and I were talking about this movie and I was like, I need to recommend this because this sounds insane and I feel like we could get a good discussion from
Also,
Marley and me.
Owen Wilson is like like a bad husband in this movie. He's just an absent deadbeat dad for a lot of it, and his wife is just like
Like depressed.
raising 3 kids. And then he like dismisses this as post-mortem depression, which is
Yeah.
a pseudo-scientific thing to
Yeah,
put
like
women down because you're being a bad father.
while looking at some of the ads for this movie, they all had like Bad to the Bone playing in them, which I found so funny. Cause like it just has like the riffs, da 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 da, while Marley's like doing some like running or something.
To be a little scamp. Also, I don't know where else I'm gonna say this, but again, really weird thing for a kids movie. More weird horny shit. Like
The bed squeaking.
Marley steals,
A
fucking
locket.
the lingerie.
Oh yeah.
Like twice Marley steals sexy lingerie. There's a sex scene where it pans up while they're fucking in a bed to a painting of a Mary from the Bible, which is
Yeah.
which that's a crazy thing to do in
There's
your like family film.
There's like a dog sitter and like she gets like she has like a towel's ripped off by Marley. She's in the shower taking a shower and Marley's trying to get in there. Like
Yeah.
this movie
There's
is
skinny
insane.
dipping, and then they
like
fuck.
get no like at the for context there's like a birthday
40th
like-
birthday.
40th birthday same day and like Owen Wilson is still having cake whenever like they're like before this and then they just like get horny and start
You want your
skinny
other
dipping.
dick?
Yeah, like this movie is absolutely batshit bonkers.
And I knew it was gonna be freaky when it starts off with him like applying to a job, and the camera is focused on Jennifer Aniston's nipples, which you can see poking through the tank top, and it's like, oh, it's gonna be one of those.
Yeah, I thought the soundtrack was whatever, the acting was fine, camera work was fine.
There's that one faux punk song where it's like, we're gonna tear up the suburbs.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, the fact that this movie in the beginning went from a chase scene into, like, to cut back to the house, and then start another chase scene 5 seconds into that, it's, like, insane.
It was like Mad Max Fury Road on ketamine, dude.
With more miscarriages.
With more miscarriages. I like the Jewish boss.
Yeah, I thought you would relate to him.
I really did relate to him at a deep personal level.
Yeah.
He just talks about how much he hates his wife, which it was insane for a kids movie. It'd be like,
I hate my wife.
Yeah, I hate my wife. I just buy her necklaces and then she shuts up.
Yeah. This movie is just, it goes in the craziest directions, and it ends with the dog dying.
Yeah.
Which is also, like, it's very strange.
Dude, and another weird there's so much weird horny Marley gets fixed, which, why wasn't the dog fixed already? They, like, waited way too long. They waited for the dog to sexually assault multiple poodles.
Yeah. Maybe now it's a good idea.
Yeah, and then they're like, Owen Wilson's in the car like, sorry, we have to chop your balls off. You won't know how good sex feels. Dude, I'm imagining all the uncomfortable conversations in the car ride home after this one.
Yeah. Maybe I experienced one, but I don't remember it.
What's sex? What does it mean to shoot hot loads in someone's pussy? Jennifer
Well,
Aniston is horrible in this, by the way.
yeah, nobody's like trying.
Owen Wilson's just being himself.
What were your criticisms with the movie?
What is there to say?
It drags.
It's 2 hours long.
It drags.
It is
Like,
a
we're
dog movie.
hyping this up as like there's so much happening, but like it's boring. It drags.
Like, yeah, the fact that I was bored in the movie, where like these notes make it sound like a crazy movie.
Yeah.
Owen starts the dog revolution. That was the scene in this movie. He unleashes Marley, and then all of the other dog owners at the dog beach start unleashing their dogs, and there's like a dog revolution until Marley.
And then everyone's like, "That's messed up, man. That's crazy."
Because Marley poops in the water, and then the
In the
police have to
ocean.
intervene.
Yeah.
What do you think fish do in there? But my biggest criticism is the way that they make the dog sick. Is it's slow walking up some stairs, and the kid's like,
It's dying.
Is the dog okay?" He's like, "The fuck are you talking about?"
No, and like
walking up."
like the scene before it, it's like perfectly playing.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
it's playing like football. It's like jumping
then
around.
It just gets hit with it
That's-
goes on a trip to the beach that makes you old, apparently.
Yeah.
It's slow walking up the stairs, and they're like, "Oh no, the dog is dying." And then the dog, their stomach flips. They drag out the dog dying to like 20 minutes.
Yeah. It's like this movie is kind of a gruel.
Also, there's like, the dog eats a fancy necklace, and you see them like spray down
The poop.
shit with like corn in it
Yeah.
to get the necklace out of the shit.
Um.
Um,
There's a sequel to this movie.
yeah, I saw it. You reviewed it.
I
Half a star.
looked at the movie like synopsis.
How do you
And-
make a sequel of the dog dying?
Oh, let me say just a little bit about the sequel. Well, what caught my attention was reading the synopsis for this movie, the second one. Fall into puppy love with the world's worst dog, who now has a frisky voice. And I immediately looked at the trailer, and it is one of those talking dog movies. And
There's
this
no
movie,
fucking way.
this movie has nothing to do with the first one, except it's a lab with the name Marley. Looks like shit. It's just like one of those straight to
was
TV. it was-
another movie, and then they.
It has nothing to do with it. It's just like using the IP of Marley and Me 3 years later. It's bad. It looks like shit. I don't have much to say about it. It looks like straight to TV garbage. Half a star I gave
The
it.
poster you picked for is gas, though.
There's no posters. There's nothing. Nobody's seen this
It's just
movie.
the poster in Russian. Also,
Yeah.
the poster you picked for Marley Me is the French one, which is just Marley et moi.
There's not good posters for these.
Marley
It-
et
it can't-
moi is such a good one, though.
Yeah. Well, you can't get like. Oh, I actually might have found a better one. Wait, what? Dude, maybe I was sleeping on the Marley and Me trailers. You have Ayo and Marley. You have Marley and You have Marley Meg N.
Marley McUn.
I think I'm gonna go with that one. But like,
Marley McUn.
yeah,
Isn't that the leader of North Korea?
yeah. Yeah. This movie is insane. Do you want to rank it? Or do you have any more to say?
It's like, dude, it just feels like a worse version of Sick Kit in 1903. It's
Yeah.
like Sick Kit in 1903, except if it was 2 hours long.
Without any midgets or top hats? Isn't that what your review said?
No midgets or cats is what I said.
Oh,
or top
sorry.
hats.
I said that.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm saying your idea was funnier.
Oh, I gave it a 7.5 out of 15.
I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 15. It I've never had such like strong opinions on a film that I think is just perfectly average.
Yeah. Well, what about Civil War?
That's true. However, I did rate it like half a point below average, but it'll be half a point behind Civil War, Deadpool 3, and Deadpool 2, and a point ahead of Long Legs.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
We have some questions.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the questions first, or do you want to do the question that we asked last week, where we got in some call-ins?
Sure. Why don't we start with call-ins? The recurring segment, everyone's favorite recurring segment. Come line.
Come line, baby. Trying to come on that line.
Okay. Last week we asked you, what is your favorite movie and why? And we got 3 responses. Let's start off with Rosa Hater 69.
Can we start with Anonymous?
But we're gonna start off with Anonymous.
Oh, this is like dark web.
Akira Kurosawa's masterpiece from 1980, Kagemusha.
The fuck? What? What did they even say?
Said 1980.
I'm gonna run that back.
Why'd you rank Green Book again?
Oh, I edited my score.
You just reposted the review.
Oh, my bad.
Say 1980, right?
Okay, so now we're gonna run that. Dude, are all of our fans like? Do all of our fans have some sort of debilitating condition? We're gonna run it back.
Akira Kurosawa's masterpiece from 1980, Kagemusha.
Why do I feel like my ears are being sexually assaulted whenever I... With the, like... There's, like, weird touching of the microphone going on there.
I don't know. I feel like you could make an argument that he has better movies. I would imagine people would...
You understood what they said?
Yeah.
What did they say?
They said that the movie Kagemusha, directed by Akira Kurosawa, is his masterpiece, and I would probably say maybe Seven Samurai.
You understood that? I didn't catch a word of that.
Or Ikiru. Maybe Ran. I've been meaning to watch Redbeard for a while now, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any thoughts, but what I do have thoughts on is enunciate.
Oh yeah, and High and Low. Can't forget High and Low. All
right.
Next
up, we have Rosa Hater 69.
My favorite movie is Rosa's least favorite movie.
What's your least favorite movie, Rosa?
I don't know if. Wedding Train.
Okay.
We don't talk about it.
It's the one that we don't talk about.
It's the one that is lost media. That episode. Oof.
All right. Moving on.
Thank you, Rosa Hater 69, for your valuable input, though. Moving on to what I think is the only serious submission. Well,
the first one was serious.
The first one was. I just didn't catch a word.
Because you don't know how to listen.
Yeah, you're a professional listener. I'm a professional yapper.
All right.
From Nadie, our beloved patron.
Alright, so being three quarters, the Mussoliniest person ever, because I am from southern Spain.
All I've
I
gotten
am
so far is they're from
unemployed.
southern Spain and then Mussolini.
Apparently my family owns land, and my dad is a Sultan. I think one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie, is Sardos. I think it was very cool, and I agree that the
was
penises
quiet?
are really
What was
cool.
the movie?
I have a conflicting gender identity and shit, so yeah, that's about it, I guess.
Wait, they sent me as a suggestion on Twitter, I think. I'm pretty sure that they literally told us to review the movie on Twitter, so I'm going to look.
Alright.
No, it's not that. It's not. We're gonna run it back. 3, 2, 1.
Well,
Alright,
just
so
like go a little bit halfway.
being three quarters, the Mussoliniest person ever, because I am from southern Spain. I am unemployed. Apparently my family owns land, and my dad is a Sultan. I think one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie, is Sardos. I think it was very
Stardust?
cool, and I
Or
agree that
Sargon?
the penises
Si-
are
s-
evil
s-
because
Sirens?
I have a conflicting gender identity and shit, so yeah.
K.
That's about
Rapita?
it, I guess.
Is what I have to say. To the wait, he's in the Discord. I don't know if it's a he. It might be a they them. Who's to say? Their pronouns are try/me according to the Discord.
Okay.
I'm gonna add them and say, what was your favorite movie? In the submission.
Alright.
Okay.
While
We'll see if they get.
while we wait for his reply.
Well, all I'll say about it is, it's great that you're keeping up the Mussoliniism, my friend.
Yeah.
That's
Actually, what is your question for next episode?
For next episode, because of how the episodes roll out, it'll be like the same question for 2 weeks, and then, so if that makes sense. So the question for next episode is, what movie would you like to see us review in the future, and why?
Alright,
Thank you.
moving on. It's our question segment. I've prepared a few questions. Do you have any questions, Rosa, that you have?
Let me check my question inbox real quick.
We do have one in the server. This one is for Rosa. Are you just giving up on Undertale Yellow, or will you skip the boss?
I threw in the towel. I don't know what to tell you.
Well,
It was too hard, dude.
yeah, it was too hard. All right. My question set.
The literal baby game, Undertale, for babies, for small babies, was too
Yeah.
hard for me.
Yeah. Did you have any questions?
I checked my question inbox. No.
Oh. All right. Well, I have two questions here. What movie got you into film?
Okay, it depends on what you mean by that. Like,
Or what got you into film in general?
if we're talking like getting me into film in general, it would be the YouTubers Bob Show, I Hate Everything, Ralph the Movie Maker. Those three got me into movies. Shout out. But that was always in like hating on movies, not really appreciating good movies, just like hating on bad movies. But what got me into liking good movies was Stanley Kubrick's Clockwork Orange. I read the book, really enjoyed it, and I watched the Kubrick film. I'm like, this Kubrick guy he's cooking something, and I want to taste it. Yum yum yum, and then that was into movies after that.
I would say that the Indiana Jones desert chase scene is what got me into film. I love that scene as a kid. I would constantly rewatch it. I love the John Williams score and just the dynamics of it. Rewatching it as an adult, it still kind of hits the same as it did as a kid, but I attribute that as what got me into film. Currently, though, I think the tank scene and Last Crusade is better.
My favorite film growing up was Cars 2
Oh yeah,
and Real Steel.
yeah. You have anything else?
No, I don't have any other questions.
All right, next question that I have is, what movies would you consider have quote-unquote changed your life or how you perceive things? Currently, I would maybe say Lady Bird. That was a movie that kind of hit at a very pivotal time in my life, and it really helped me. That would be one right now.
This is hard to say, but I used to be a bad person.
Evil?
Like I'm being for real here. Like I was racist. To the people around me, but then I saw 2018's Green Book, and then it.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
So you were racist?
No, I wasn't.
Oh.
I was never racist.
I thought you were gonna say that some movie actually helped you
No,
cope with your racism.
I was never racist. It's kind of hard to come up with a movie that's changed my life, but the best one I can think of is the film Punishment Park, which I watched with you.
Yeah, we did that for the podcast.
We did it for the podcast. So it was episode 8, and it was the first episode that I was like really proud of.
Good.
And that movie means a lot to me because of that. A lot of movies that I would say changed my life, it was more so the people I watched them with that mattered to me, if that makes sense. That's why I'd have to think about.
Yeah, I have a lot of movies that I find sentimental because of when I watched them. I think Bottoms and The Worst Person in the World were another two films that kind of have the same effect as Lady Bird. Not to the same degree, but I still very cherish for when I watched them and what I kind of got out of them.
Yeah, I will say there's like philosophy within films that has impacted my life. I more so attribute it to the philosophy rather than the film in and of itself.
Yeah.
That's why I have to think about. But I guess, like, thinking more abstractly, Clockwork Orange, going back to that, I wouldn't be doing this show right now if I had seen that film. So I would.
Yeah.
I would say that did change my life.
Yeah, these questions kind of run parallel. Like, I could definitely say Indiana Jones did that. I would say Alien also runs in the framework of both of these questions. I think Alien for sure.
Blade Runner would be another one for me that got me into film. My dad's favorite film. The original Blade Runner. The director's cut, to clarify.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we are snobs here. Good film.
But yeah, those are all the questions.
Wait, pause. Just off the presses, the film that Nadie says was Zardoz.
What?
That's what they said their favorite film was.
I will look into
What
it.
the fuck is Zardoz?
Oh, hello. That is quite the poster.
That's an awesome poster.
Oh, I know this director. I'm not super familiar with this movie.
Looks cool.
I do know some of the director's other movies, like Deliverance. Definitely we'll have to check it out at some point. Definitely looks very interesting.
With that, I'd like to announce that next week we will be reviewing Birth of a Nation from 1915. I want to do a little bit of a meta episode about what it means to review art, how you can review art from a racist, if you're able to separate art from the artist, and I don't know, a little bit of a meta episode, so you have that to look forward to next week. Join the Patreon, $5 a month, you get a bonus episode monthly. Episodes 1 week early, access to a Discord, and access to our Twitch VODs.
Anyway, thanks for coming on this journey with us. I'm a crack addict, smoking a tulip, and
I'm Smokey the Bear, telling you to put that tulip down.
never. And we're posting.
Okay. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Villa